We've entered fully autonomous mode. You see Z1 axis moving up for the home position, and then Z2 back here, which is the water extraction, is moving up. And then next, X will start moving backwards to its homing position. And you see on both sides we've got plates for the sensors to hit. That red light turns on, telling the system it's home. And then the drill will start looking for its surface right here. So right now we've got a bucket of ice set up. So Andrew, what RPM are we running here on this drill?
300 RPM at the moment.
Okay. At a feed rate of?
About a millimeter per second.
About a millimeter a second. And we've got stability once that hole gets started. Vibration's not really an issue. This rig seems to be holding well with everything mounted in this vertical position. And you can see this drill's making some nice shavings as it penetrates through the ice. Okay, so once we've met our desired depth on the drill will start coming out of the hole, getting ready for the water extraction. One of the advantages of running a pecking cycle through the ice is that it mitigates the amount of ice buildup that may occur on the metal, keeping any freezing from happening on the drill and causing any So once the drill's gone back to its home position, the entire rig will move forward so that the water extraction can now move over the hole that has just been drilled. Let me move around the backside here so you guys can see this a little bit better. With a clear tubing in the center of it and a cartridge heater that has a thermocouple that will deliver the heat to melt the ice. As much ice as possible, which will get us ready for our next stage, which is our water filtration and collection system. We'll come back to that in just a minute. Okay, so after 10 minutes, what happens here is that the autonomous system kicks in our peristaltic pump. The reason we're using this pump is because it doesn't need to be primed, it doesn't need to be under any type of pressure. So this allows us to pump hole from a half-inch hole or a 30-inch hole. It really won't matter. It'll still pump the fluid for us, which in this circumstance works the best system here. And so what this does is it pulls the water out of our hole here up through this tubing. And then it takes it through this labyrinth of solenoids into our electrocoagulation box. And what this electrocoagulation box will do is it'll fill up. It'll have 6 aluminum blocks here. On the bottom of these boxes, they're connected electronically. When the box is full, it'll receive an electric current, which will cause the dirt particles to coagulate. And that will be the first part of our 2-stage filter. Let me come around here, sorry. It'll exit the bottom of this box and run through a couple more solenoids to our backwashable filter here, where it then exits the system. What I want to point out here about this cartridge heater is that when it heats up and it creates a radial path. And if you can see in here, we've actually got almost like a golf ball size hole that has been created, and all that water is now ready for extraction. Who's in charge of that system kind of go over what you guys are seeing here?
Sure. So right now, water was filled into this electrocoagulation box, and the water is being coagulated right now. There's a current being flowed through here, and pretty much essentially any dirty particles in this water will be clumped together. So whenever it runs through our back flushable filter, which uses a 15 micron stainless steel mesh filter, it'll be able to capture those particles a lot easier. So we're going to run the system for about 15 minutes, and then once that's done, we're going to pass it through our filter, and we'll pour out some filtered water.
And what are those bubbles we're seeing?
That's pretty much electrolysis happening right now. So, yeah.
So that's evidence that the system's actually working properly. Okay. All right. Thank you, Charlene.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that the electrocoagulation process has happened, you can see that the water is being moved through these solenoids, and down here we've got a collection bottle for all the clean water. Let me see if I can get in there. You guys can see the fluid actually flowing through there. You can see it actually dripping out and collecting. That'll be our clean water sample. Filter, and basically whenever we're gonna have a sensor in here that'll trigger whenever the water level gets pretty low, but because we are going to be having dirt and particles in the system, we need to be able to back flush the entire system. So as Charlene mentioned, there's a mesh filter in here that catches all those particles, and so what we're doing is we're sending fluid back through this filter here in order to clean it out. And that is collected down here in this other bucket right here, and that will remove all the particles that are caught in that filter. So whenever we go through our next filtration cycle, we have a clean filter.